Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Tony Stewart's Ritz Oreo Chevy from 2013. As always, take a quick look at the box. As you can see, you just have your typical generic 2013 box. Got that kind of primer gray test car Camaro with the 33 photoshopped on the door. Got a nationwide series, Tony Stewart, and a picture of Tony in the Ritz Oreo fire suit. Down the side, you got RCR, you got another picture of Tony in the fire suit, and you got a render of the car with Tony Stewart's signature right there. On this side of the box, you have another photo of the render. On the back of the box, you got the same picture of the Camaro, Tony Stewart, RCR, Action Platinum Series. On this end, you got 2013 Action Racing Collectibles 20th Anniversary, and they made a total of 624 of these things. And there's the underside of the box with all the copyright if you want to see that, as I drop the box. Anyways, here is the car itself. A very uniquely eye-catching paint scheme. This car actually marked Tony Stewart's final race in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, or now the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He has never made a start since then. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that this race was a pretty controversial, I don't know what word to use about this race. If you don't remember, this was the race that at the end of the race, Tony Stewart won the race because there was a huge wreck. Brad Keselowski and Regan Smith got together coming to the finish line, and there was the big huge wreck where Kyle Larson's car shredded itself and turned itself into a compact car, and pieces went into the stands and I believe injured people. So everyone was a little bit on edge at the end of this race. Like, this was the most muted, not happy celebration I think I've ever seen, because everyone's just so worried that somebody was hurt or the fans were hurt, and it was just a very kind of scary moment in NASCAR history. So I don't know if that had anything to do with him, if that, like, you know, turned him off from running this race every year, because he did run this race just about every single year up till this point, and then hasn't done it since then. This also marked the end of these Nabisco cars that always happened every year. You know, it was Dale Jr. for a long time, plus the occasional, like, Truex car or another DEI Chance 2 car. And then they went to Kenseth and Roush for a few years, then they went to Tony for a few years, and it's definitely a shame they haven't been back, because these Ritz and Oreo cars were always just fantastic paint schemes. Most of them are really nice, and a lot of the diecast that they release for them are pretty popular diecast. So the closest we've gotten to an Oreo Ritz car anymore is just this past year, Justin Allgaier ran a Breyers Ice Cream 2-in-1 car that they actually featured the 2-in-1 flavor of Oreo and Chips Ahoy, so we actually did have an Oreo car back on the track, and it was with Junior, so you knew it was probably on purpose. So that was at least nice to see, but I really wish these people would come back. Like, you know, Dale Jr.'s always looking for sponsorships for his junior motorsports team. Would love for, you know, Nabisco to pop back in, because they seem to care about the sport and they had awesome paint schemes. But I don't know. That's enough rambling about the car. Why don't we do a quick 360 of this car? It was always kind of funny how they did always kind of bounce back and forth between an Oreo and a Ritz car. Like, one year it was Oreo with Ritz on the side, and the next year it was Ritz with Oreo on the side. And I mean, it was easy to tell which one was the primary, because generally like this, you know, this car's red, so it's Ritz, the blue cars were Oreo, but definitely not a bad paint scheme at all. This was the first season for the Camaro, if I remember correctly, too. But anyways, let's get down to sponsors. On the hood, you have a big Ritz logo. You got Chevy Camaro SS, number 33, and RCR. Down the side, you got Oreo and Ritz. You got Kroger and Safety Clean on the back right there. And in front of the rear wheel, you got Mobile One, Bass Pro Shops, Cometic, Champion Spark Plugs, and Sherwin-Williams. On the C-post, you got Nilla Wafers, Nutter Butters, Wheat Thins, and Menards. And on the B-post, you got Coca-Cola, GoDaddy, Hunt Brothers Pizza, Armor Foods, Fast Fixin' Chicken, and Wesco. Has your regular contingencies and stuff on the front. Kind of a strange, you know, setup right there with, like, all the ones kind of together and then the Nationwide logo just kind of shoved on top. Can't say I'm a fan of that. On the back, you got Ritz, Open for Fun, Chevy Camaro number 33. On the Decklid, you got nothing, just some pictures of some Ritz crackers and some colorful outlines, which is the same thing that the roof logo has. I really do like that, the Ritz cracker behind the number. That is a really cool idea. You got the same stuff down the other side as usual. Let's take a look under the hood. I forget, you know, I remember when you could do this with hoods. Like, this is so much better. Now you can barely open the hoods anything. This one you could open all the way back to the window. Why did we lose very opening hoods? Like, it's literally just, like, amazing to look at these hoods these days. But anyways, there's the engine detail if you want to see that. And you, of course, just have a Chevy bow tie on the underside of the hood. Close that back up. Obviously, the deck lid still opens back on these cars, so you can see your typical fuel cell and such back there. And the roof flaps, of course, do open. And there is the underside of the car if you want to see that. Like I said, he did win this race, so there is a raced version of this car if you really want a raced version. I don't think it was really overly damaged or dirty or anything, but like I said, this car's kind of historic since it was Tony Stewart's final nationwide Xfinity Series start, and, you know, it is a nice paint scheme. I do love the way the whole design is just some, like, different colored shapes from Ritz crackers. Very nice idea. If you want this car is a little bit hard to find. It's honestly easier to get the raced version than the clean version for some reason. Which I guess maybe because everyone just bought this car up at the time, and then the race version came out, and it's like, it's not a very exciting race version, I don't need it. But like I said, it probably didn't help how muted the, after race was, just because everyone was just so scared. So, it wasn't like a race that I'm sure a lot of people were really celebrating, but I don't know. But anyways, I think that's pretty much all there's to say. This has been a review of Tony Stewart's Ritz Oreo Chevy from 2013. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.